Hello. So the first of the two applications we're going to be installing is SQL Server Express. SQL Server Express is a free version of SQL Server, which is a database which we will be using in conjunction with Visual Studios. You don't need it, but since most of your web applications will be using a real actual database for its backend, I figured this was a good idea to get it in the right sort of tools installed right at the beginning. There are other versions of SQL Server that are more appropriate for live websites, but this version of SQL Server is good enough for what we're going to do. So we're going to get to installing that. If you know how to install SQL Server and Express yourself, go for it. But if not, that's why I'm here. Ask any questions if you have any issues, and I'll be more than happy to help you.
Well, hello. So open up your browser and go to google.com. Within Google, the text box, the search box in Google, type in SQL Server 2019 download. Click the first link, which is SQL Server Downloads, Microsoft. Once there, rather than clicking the two items at the top, scroll down and click on SQL Server Express. The reason why we're not using Developer is because Developer, even though it's a fully featured free edition, you could only use it in development and test databases and non-production environment. SQL Server Express, however, is a free edition of SQL Server with much less functionality, which I won't get into. However, you can use it in development and production for desktop, web, and small application servers. So if you're hosting a small website, you can still use it for free. So we'll click download, and we will save it. And it's relatively small, so it should install quite quickly, especially compared to the non-free versions. So we'll click run. You want to allow this application to make changes to your device, click yes. Hopefully you have administration privileges on the computer you're installing this in, so that you can install this. If you don't get it, or ask someone that could help you get it, or ask me in the worst cases. Click basic, accept. Change this to install location you want it to be installed in. Click install. It'll download the packages. That'll take a bit of time, depending on the bandwidth of your computer. So we'll wait it out. You can skip ahead if you don't want to watch this downloading thing, because I don't have much more to say. Also, if you know how to install this yourself, feel free to. You don't have to watch this video, because it's just here in case you run into any difficulties to show you what I did. The great thing about using SQL Server with ASP.NET is that they sort of go hand in hand, because Microsoft built both, so they made them function well together. But if you do purchase the enterprise editions and the paid-for editions, they tend to provide a better server that can handle more traffic, is evidently faster. Plus it has additional functionality which allows you to automate a lot of things that you don't have in SQL Server. But you won't notice it if you don't use it, and in our case we won't be using it. But if you are interested in learning about that stuff, we are coming out with a database and business intelligence course suite in the future. I found a lot of the database classes online stuff. To be honest, I've worked in the field as well as specialized in it, and done built systems with it and worked in all aspects of databases. So I was a senior database developer in the past. I switched from web development to database development to web development again. So I feel like I could give you insight in order to avoid and transfer my experience to avoid a lot of the pitfalls a lot of the existing systems have. Because a lot of the people that are building systems tend to build it right out of school, or they tend to build it as a front-end developer that has gone full stack, so they don't know the full functionality of the beast called SQL Server. So I'm just going to pause this so you don't have to wait that much longer, and I'll restart it when it finishes downloading. Okay, so it has finished downloading and is currently installing. As you can see here, it said download successful and it's installing. If an error does occur with the download, it'll tell you. So that command prompt window opened up, and soon we will have this installed. It might take a while based on the speed of your computer, but SQL Server Express installs a lot faster than the other versions of SQL. So once it's finished installing, I'm going to pause it for now. I will start recording again. Okay, so installation has completed successfully, and we got to the following screen. Here we have 4 text boxes asking for the instance name, which is the name that was installed. It also tells us the connection string, which we will copy, and we will save. So open up Notepad, because we'll need this later. So it's called SQLEXPRESS. It also tells you the name of your administrator, which is basically your current logged in account. The features installed, the installation media folder, as well as the version. And so now we're going to install, rather than close it, we're going to install SQL Server Messenger Studios, which is at the bottom. What this is a program to interact with the database. So we'll have to download it, run it. Once it downloads, it's going to take 12 minutes. So I'm going to install it, start the installation, and I'll start recording after the download is complete. So I will see you soon. Okay, so what just happened is that it asked me for permission to make changes for my system, and I said yes. Next, I'm going to select the location I want SQL Server Management Studios to install in. I'm fine with the default, and I'll click install. What's happening now is it's loading the packages and installing everything. So once it's installed, I will unpause this again. So for now, I'm going to pause this so you don't have to hear me ramble about nothing. Okay, so now the setup is complete and all specified components have been installed successfully. So we'll click close, and we have installed SQL Server. So we are good to go.